Hello, Scott Eustace, Community Science Director, making a little video for some survey scoping for canals, drainage canals in New Orleans East and unclogging them. Um, I have a Google map as well as some spreadsheets. I think there's really one spreadsheet and it's connected to the map. So we'll start with that. Defining these canals, as I have done so using the LDQ 2022 water quality assessment. This was completed in 2023. It tells you whether different contact is supported in the different water bodies. It lists the canal network in New Orleans East as one water body. Just for the purposes of sanity, we can think of it as I think I have 12. But this is all Louisiana 041401_00, which you can likely do a public records request to get that GIS shapefile. It is not supported for swimming due to enterococcus in general. Could be human, could be animal. It's not unusual for an urban water body. It is rated supported for boating. And it's not supported for fishing. So, I have the link to the LDQ assessment in this sheet, as well as some other links to the map and to this list of names. This spreadsheet is dividing this single water body up into 12 canals. The first and last are Morrison and Dwyer, and they're west to east, and they're very long, and they have a lot of segments. And I rated how the segments were clogged according to the winter 2023 photo. I listed if the canal is connected to a pump. We've got pumps at Citrus, St. Charles, and Yannick. We've got the location for public access, as well as some general directions of how to get public access to the canal. Most of the canals are public, except I think one of the canals is privately owned by the subdivision. So you see public access at this point is yes. And then you can click on each of these and it should bring up the specific area. So this is the Morrison Canal location point. It's public to survey it here, and it has a little bit of clog. I guess for Morrison, it's very long, so you actually have to go all the way. All the way at the end, there is a clog. And that might not count as a clog. It's a different photo than this I used for the assessment, so. But that link is to a Google map in case you want to use your phone to navigate to it. But to assess the clogged, I use the Assessor photo, which is pretty recent. The NOLA Assessor. This link will bring you to a random location. You have to kind of navigate it yourself. But I had listed this as a clog. It's actually floating debris. So probably a stretch to call it a clog. But I went ahead and did it because we had a lot of material in the canal in the winter. These survey photos are leaf off So they're always going to be capturing a period of low vegetation. That's a standard aerial photography practice. So, if you're talking about clogged canals, these photos are not going to give you, um, they're not going to give you the maximum extent of the vegetation. But it's a good benchmark then um, to estimate how much of the canal is clogged. I've got some notes on the clog as well. Um, and whether or not the water is cloudy. It's the Lawrence Canal that's partially owned by Park Brittany. Yeah. Um, so to summarize, what is the most clogged canal is the Dwyer Canal. And you've seen someone, I guess the Sewage and Water Board, moving to clear the Dwyer Canal around Wright Avenue. They're just excavating it, making it deeper. So that's another interesting development at Dryer and Wright. It might good to catalog that they're cleaning it out. They're doing a clean out. But it's the one furthest away from the pumps. It's the one most clogged. A lot of the ones like Lawrence and Gannon that have clogs have them in the southern end next to Dwyer. So the clogs in Dwyer, the vegetation is probably in Dwyer and then colonizing north into the flow. Um, if you wanted to do things like invasive species control. But overall, I'll only have my estimate is 14% of the canals are clogged. With Lawrence and Gannon probably requiring full clean out. These three are probably, if you're getting a contractor, you'd want to focus on these three canals, whereas the rest is pretty minor. And a lot of them are clear. But that's just one photo. It's a recent photo. And you should probably check different photos and probably do field check to assess that. Well, let's see what else. So this is the Google map where I've compiled a lot of this information. You know, you can go to some of the clogged canals. Probably should have logged citrus as a clogged canal as well. I actually did it. So probably my assessment is not. Need to update it. As I would say that's it's pretty grown in. Well, or is it? I don't know. That one, I don't know. As opposed to some of the stuff in Dwyer where it looks obstructed. And you've even got erosion at the end of these um we've got some natural bayou forms beginning to take place due to the root vegetation. So yeah, if you just want the general locations, there are these purple dots. We've got some other notes of interest, as in this clogged canal is privately owned by this apartment complex, and that's why the survey point is north of it. But this part of that canal is public. So this Lawrence Canal is pretty clogged, but it's owned by this subdivision here. And yeah, it's not in the Google photo, but the canals over here by Wright Boulevard have been cleaned out and enlarged. So that's interesting. I don't know if people want that or if they're opposed to that. Um, it's not green infrastructure, but it is maintaining the drainage way. So could see both arguments. All right, those are my notes. Peace.